Hi, this is Bunsen with Bunsen Music. I'm going to talk about how you could play a song called Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. And it starts out with this really cool, heavy guitar part actually. But it's kind of following this cool bass line that kind of becomes our verse and our chorus. Where you can play first fret on the low E string, it's kind of that F note. And then we go to the first fret on the A string for a B flat note. And then we go to a fourth fret on the low E for an A flat note. And then we go to fourth fret on the A string, it's kind of a D flat note. So that's kind of our main idea through the tune. It's kind of that F, B flat, A flat, D flat. And if you wanted to kind of work that out as kind of chords, you could kind of thicken things up with something called a power chord shape, where you could do first finger on the low E first fret, third finger on the A string third fret, kind of an F5 power chord. And then for the first fret on the A string, you could do that same shape for a B flat 5, kind of A string first, third fret on the D. And then for the A flat note, you could just move that shape. You could take first finger on the low E fourth fret, third finger on the A string sixth fret for an A flat 5. And then you could kind of take that idea and move it to the A and the D string for a D flat 5. Kind of D, A string, fourth fret, D flat note. And I add in the third finger for the fifth. So we're kind of playing an F and a C note randomly. It's an F5, F, G, A, B, C. It's 5 away. And then B flat, A flat 5, D flat 5. If you want to make things even thicker, and Kurt was all about making this really thick, you could use major chord shapes. So you could kind of do the first finger as a bar over first fret, second finger on the G second fret, third finger on the A third, pinky on the D string third. Kind of working that for your F major chord. It's really heavy. And then for the B flat note, you could use a B flat major chord by doing first fret bar, third finger over the D, G, and B strings. It's kind of a B flat major chord. And then for the A flat, you could kind of take those two shapes, that F and the B flat shape, and move them over to fourth fret. So now we got fourth fret bar, second finger on the G, fifth, third finger on the A6, pinky on the D6 for an A flat major chord. And then you could kind of do that double bar idea over fourth fret bar, third finger over the D, G, and B on the sixth fret for a D flat major. So it's kind of a F, B flat, A flat, D flat. Now rhythm wise, there's a couple different ways you may want to approach it. If you're just starting out, you may want to kind of work just a down idea through this kind of F, 2, 3, 4, E flat, D, A flat, D flat, especially with the power chords. That could be kind of a cool way to work it. Or even a 3+5 idea actually could work through it, especially when the bass solo kind of comes in, kind of 1, 2, 3, B flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A flat, D flat, F 1, 2, 3, B flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A flat, D flat, kind of anticipating the next chord. Or one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, down, which could kind of work if you're just starting out. This might be a cool way to do it. Kind of take the F and just try that a lot to warm up a little bit. You kind of down, up, down, down. So a really easy strumming way to do it would be kind of doing the F and the B flat, but just a down, down, kind of half in the strum pattern we just talked about. Kind of F, down, up, B flat, down, up, A flat, down, up, B flat, down, up, down, up, B flat, down, up, A flat, down, up, B flat, down, up. Or you could split the pattern and do the F with a down, down, and then go to the B flat for the up, down. Especially later on in the verse, that would work really well. F, down, B flat on up, down, A flat on the down, B flat on up, down, F, down, B flat on up, down, A flat on the down, B flat on up, down. Now what Kurt's really doing though is working off of something called a 16th note strum pattern. And what I mean by that is if you're tapping your foot to the beat, right now we're working off our down, down, up, down, up. It's kind of a division of 2, kind of 1, 2, 1, 2 of a foot tap. And that's called an 8th note. What a 16th note is where you think about that as kind of a division of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's this cool little strum pattern that Kurt's kind of doing, and it's kind of working off the 16th note. And the full strum pattern that he's really using is kind of a down, down, and then down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. So that's a little weird. But if you took the F and did a down on 1 and then an up on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of what we're doing on the first beat. And on the second beat, we'll be doing a down on 1, down on 3, up on 4. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, 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 third beat, we'd be doing a down on 1, up on 2, down on 3. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, 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 up, down. And then on the last beat, we'd be going down, up, right along with the 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, up, down, 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 down. So all together, you got down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 down. Now the weird part is you take the F and do the down, up, down, and then you kind of kill the strings with your left hand. This is called left hand muting for the down, up, down, up. So that's a little weird. F down, up, down, mute, 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 mute is kind of the idea. Down, up, down, kill it for 2 down ups. Down, up, down, mute, 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 mute. And then we go to our B flat for the last down, down, up, down, down. So we got F, up, down, mute, 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 down, down, up, down, up, F, up, down, mute, 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 down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down. And then basically we'd be taking that idea and then moving it to the A flat, D flat. So we have a 4th fret, A flat, D flat. So we kind of dig on that. We got kind of F, up, down, down, up, down, up, D flat, down, 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 A flat, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, F, B flat, A flat, and we want to kind of work that out with that muting idea, with the left hand muting. And then from there we go into our verse part, and actually breaks down into this cool little bass riff that Chris is playing, where you can play 1st fret on the low E, 1st fret on the A, 4th fret on the low E, 4th fret on the A. So it's kind of that same chord progression. F, B flat, A flat, D flat, F, B flat, A flat, D flat. And the little solo part actually that Kurt's playing is kind of going 1st fret on the B to 1st fret on the high E. So you could almost kind of do that as a 1st finger bar. And it's weird where that comes in. It's almost on the it's kind of a 2 and idea, kind of a rest. 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4. And you almost kind of put those together. Actually, I was kind of doing that in the demo, right? It's kind of doing the F, and then the kind of, and I was anticipating the B flat actually, but so that's a little weird. But that's how those almost kind of go together. It's kind of the F, B flat, A flat, D flat, F, C, F. That's kind of that idea. And we do that a total of 6 times actually, kind of 2 instrumentals and then kind of 4 with the verses, until we go into kind of our pre-chorus part where it's the same progression, but all of a sudden that idea becomes almost kind of a quarter note idea. Actually, you're playing right on the foot tap with that same CF idea. And you can almost kind of work those together too, kind of the F, and then kind of go into the B flat, to the A flat, D flat. So I'm doing that as kind of a little bar thing. That's kind of weird because it's kind of bass note, right? I'm kind of working the B string, 1st fret, low E string on the 1st fret at the same time, throwing in an extra bass, and then going to the high E, and kind of throwing an extra bass. So together, right? A lot of it's together, but it's almost like the bass is kind of double timing the melody part of the solo. So that might be kind of a cool lick to work out, especially if you're trying to do a solo, want to kind of bring out some of those licks. And then from that pre-chorus, we end up doing that 4 times, and then going into our chorus part, which is just like our intro. So we're kind of back to our F, A flat, D flat, F, B flat, A flat, D flat. Kind of working that main rhythm idea, or you can work the down ups. You know, if that feels better for you, just start down. And then right after that chorus, we do that a total of 8 times. And then we go to this cool little break where you can play low E on the 1st fret twice, and then open E, 1st fret on the E, and then 2nd fret on the low E twice. So we got kind of a 1, 1, 0, 1, 2, 2, or an F, F, E, F, F, sharp, and then we take 3rd fret on the G string and just bend the hell out of it. So we got kind of the 1, 1, oh, 1, 2, 2, 3 bend. It's kind of that main idea there. And then we come back and kind of do the 1, 1, oh, 1 again. But then we go to 6th fret on the low E for a B flat note, and then 4th fret on the low E for an A flat note. Let's go all together. You got kind of F, F, E, F, F sharp, B flat bend, F, F, E, F, B flat, A flat, F, E, F, F sharp. So you bend 1, 1, oh, 1, 6, 6, 4, 4. Or you could back up that lick with power chords, and you can start on the F5 power chord by doing that we were kind of talking about. And it might be easier, instead of doing an actual E5, just to lift off the 1st finger and kind of get that open E with the 3rd fret on the A, and kind of going back to that F. So I'm actually kind of keeping the 3rd finger in the same place. That might be a cheat, don't know, works really well. And then from there you kind of slide it over 2 for F sharp 5, and then we can do our 3 bend. And then we go back to our F5, kind of same lick, but then we can take that shape and then slide it up to 6th fret on the low E string. It's kind of that B flat note, but you could add in a B flat 5 by adding in the 3rd finger on the A string 8th fret. We're kind of the 2 count idea. And then we go down to A flat 5 for that last 2. So all together you got kind of F, F, E, F, F sharp, 3 bend, F, F, E, F, B flat, A flat, F, F, E, F, F sharp, 3 bend, F, F, E, F, B flat, A flat. Now if you want to make that even thicker, you could kind of work around the chord and then slide the whole chord shape up to F sharp major, and then do the 3 bend, and then do your F shape again, F, F, E, F. I'm just kind of lifting off the bar for that. And then we go to 6th fret, and we could use that same major shape for the B flat major, and then slide that down to the A flat. So if you want to make it really thick, you know, kind of F, F, E, F, F sharp, 3 bend, F, F, E, F, B flat, A flat, 3 bend. And then from that break, then we'll be going into our main verse idea. So we're kind of going back to our bass solo idea with kind of our lead guitar idea, kind of working those together. Now another idea I would think about with this song though is working basses, and actually we're doing a lot of bass line stuff already, but you could kind of add a bass to the strum patterns too. So on the down, down, up, down, up, for instance, on the F you'd have the low E string for your bass, and you could almost make it a bass down, up, down, up. On the B flat you'd have the A for the bass, on the A flat you'd have low E for the bass, and on the D flat you'd have the A for the bass. So you could kind of work that, and you may want to do just the bass down, up on each chord to kind of get the tempo on that. That may be kind of tricky, so you may kind of dig on that, or you could have the strum pattern like we've done, kind of the F, down, B flat, A flat bass, down, B flat, up, down, F bass, down, B flat, up, down, A flat bass, down, B flat, up, down. Or you could try adding in basses to that 16th part, although I don't think Kurt actually does this. You can always kind of make it a bass, up, down, bass, down, it's almost kind of trying to put Kurt and Chris's part together. Bass, up, down, working it out that way. And then from that verse, then we'd be going into our next chorus. So our pre-chorus, where we're kind of working our quarter note idea, or you could be working that with the bass line if you're kind of digging on that, or you could just follow that chords too. Do that pre-chorus 4 times through the progression, and then we had our next chorus. So back to our F, B flat, A flat, D flat, F, B flat, A flat, F. We end up doing that 8 times for our chorus. So we're gonna dig on that with the basses. Then we hit our, and from there, then we hit our chorus tag or our break again. to kind of our bass solo idea. And we have our lead guitar solo come in. If you want to follow those notes, you can start out 5th on the G string, 4th on the B, 6th on the B, 6th on the D, and then 4 on the B, 6 on the B, 4 on the B, 6, 5 on the G, 6, 5 on the G, 3 on the G, and then 6 on the D, and then 3 bend on the G, and then we go back to the 6, 5 on the D. If you kind of dig on that. So we have 5, 4, 6, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 5, 3, 6, 3 bend, 6, 5. And then from there is a cool little lick that kind of comes in where you go 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5 on the D. And then we go back 6, 5, and you may want to do this as a pull off, kind of playing the 6th note on the finger fall, the string to 5th, and then we play the 5th on the D, and then slide down the 3rd fret on the D. So that last part you got kind of 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 5, 3, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 5, 3. So all through your solo you got kind of that 5, 4, 6, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 5, 6, 5, 3, 6, 3 bend, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 5, 3, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. So you kind of dig on those licks. And then from there, then we go into our next verse. But our next verse is really just kind of a bass solo. So you may want to kind of work just the bass line through that verse until you hear the pre-chorus come in, where we kind of have our quarter note idea around the bass line. We end up doing that 4 times for our pre-chorus. That's the 4th time. And then from there, then we go into our chorus part. So we're back to our But that's the basics of how you can strum through Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. So good luck.